To Canon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. Yes, it is now the evening show. I think, like I said, from Monday, we're going to kind of beef up the live shows because there is no easy talk on this Friday. For us religious types, it's a religious day. So I've got my brother back, and I've also got Paul from in the North Bank back, and I think Isaac is somewhere stuck in cyberspace. I think.
Like a tunnel.
Yeah, maybe it's got the flap covering the camera. But I wasn't my idea. That was Paul saying that. Anyway, and we'll get into this short, sharp show on the other side of this music intro. Yes, indeed. Welcome back to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over this world. And like I said before the bump, we're going to beef up the evening shows every time this week because there is no easy talk. So I'm going to try and get as many. I'm going to pile them in and sell them high and sell them cheap, or however it goes there. But I've got Paul from in the North Bank back. Paul, how is it going?
Yeah, very well, Alex. Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Yep.
Looking forward to more Arsenal chat.
just a little chat. All right, and Ralph, how's it going as well for you?
Yeah, good. Day off. Spending time with my daughter as always, so we catch up. It's beautiful weather in South Wales at this moment in time, so no doubt it'll change when I'm off at the weekend. it'll be hailstones and snow and everything else because we seem to have 4 seasons in one day down here. But I must admit, I can't really complain. All is good. Always good.
Good. Well, I thought the first one we'll talk about is in regards to Socrates Papathopoulos, and he's spoken about the way a lot of in recent times the players have left Arsenal, and he says that he's not the only one who left this way. Socrates Papathopoulos hits out Arsenal for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang sour exit as he claims letting the striker leave to go and join Barcelona was not the correct choice. Former Arsenal defender Papathopoulos has hit out at the club's decision to allow Aubameyang to join Barcelona. Now, in his own words, he said, I don't know, and personally, I don't think it was the correct choice. The matter could have been resolved differently. I've known Aubameyang for many years. I know what he can do as a footballer. I am certain of what he will do at Barcelona. But in regards to his own exit from the Gunners, he said, the way I left was not the best. I was out of the team, but it's a matter I haven't spoken about yet. I respected the manager's choice. I spoke with him. And as well as having players leave by mutual termination, there have also been issues with other players currently, contracted at the club. Maitland-Niles wanted to join Everton back in the summer of 2021 due to a lack of game time at the Emirates. He made his feelings clear in a post, on his Instagram account, saying, "All I want to do is go where I'm wanted and where I'm going to play football." Is there an issue, Paul, in regards to how and how can I say this? When players leave Arsenal, is there an issue as to how we handle the exit at Arsenal?
I probably think there's quite a few issues just all round really with regards to how we handle business. Certainly transfer fees and getting the business done early. It wouldn't surprise me if there's some very kind of unprofessional kind of methods and feelings towards players who want, or I would say probably more that the club want to get rid of, rather than say players actually just wanting to leave. And yeah, I suppose Socrates would kind of step up and speak out because they were teammates for a while at Dortmund, so. Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen down the line.
Oh, there's a bit of a yeah, I think that's Isaac. He's here, and he gives us an echo. Ralph, your thoughts about how players, I mean, Maitland-Niles is just like I don't know, like a tragedy, isn't it? I mean, he wanted to go, he's come back, and he wanted to play a specific position. and now where is he? He's off at Roma, and life is not so good for him. But do you think there's some problem with how we deal with and how we eventually let players leave Arsenal?
This is a bit of like a sore point, really, because I think for a manager, it's you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. I remember when George Graham had to let go Paul Rocastle to Leeds. And Paul didn't really want to go. But it was a fee, and he was off. You got Aubameyang, you got Aaron Ramsey. We have players in the past teams that were fans' favourites, and then we sold them. And they may have become quite successful for our opposition, strengthen our opposition. Hence the reason why we are where we are at this moment in time. But you're always going to have that kind of angst where a player's going to, if he feels that he hasn't been treated in the right way, especially now with social media, it's quite easy to tell your agent or tell your friend, and it goes out there without having or owning any kind of like responsibility to what was probably said or what you want to say, but you want to say it in the right way. I think for any club, any large club, it is all about doing things in the right way. If you look after the players in the right way, and you do what you can, as much as you can, then maybe the percentage may be quite small in the way that players who feel that they're home, they want to stay where they are because their family is settled, and then all of a sudden they've been transferred to another team because of a better cost for the club to survive. There's always going to be that kind of angst. I think the main problem with Arsenal has been that we've let go of players, we've let them run down the contracts. I thought this might have been like a once in a blue moon kind of thing, but it seems to happen with quite alarming irregularity. And of course, you're always going to have a player feel that he's not being treated in the right way. It's a very difficult situation, I find.
Paul, I know you put out a list of players in the Cannon Fodder TV WhatsApp group who are either out on loan or we could be possibly going to be selling them. Are there any of those players on the list there that you would ideally like Arsenal to keep? Or you think?
Well, there's Saliba there that you would be looking to keep him. Balogun will be on loan again next season, 100%. He'll have an 18-month loan period. He's had the half a year now, and then he'll have another year on loan again somewhere, be it in the Premier League this time at a lower level or back where he was. But I don't know. You look at it, and I think most of them are all done and dusted. I think that the loan players. You can look at Guendouzi. You can look at a whole host of them, and I think they are done. Mari wants to stay, wants to go, and yeah, if they do, then so be it. If they don't want to fight for the place and actually show and actually put in the effort and actually the performance, then let them go. At the end of the day, and we need players that are willing and ready to come in. And with Saliba, he'd be the one that would come in, and I don't know. You look at it and you think, what does next year bring? If we bring in Saliba and we're talking about how we line up, 3 centre backs, one of those is going to play second fiddle. I know there's talk about Gabriel,
Barcelona, yeah,
another one. That's potentially another player that may be slightly unnerved about things. Barcelona come in for you, especially without Europe or whatever. Is he going to look? Is he going to be swayed? It's happened before with other players. So does that mean then Saliba comes straight in and that's our next season pairing?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there is huge changes.
Yeah.
So we know that already, and yeah, there's we could be looking at, say, like 15 players. You literally picture of the 15 actual first team players we could actually have if you take away, say, your Lacazette and everything like that, which I think he will go. I don't think that as assured as some of the others, but I can't see us as a club saying it's viable and sustainable to renew his contract at the money that he'll probably want. It's a crossroads, isn't it? Really, at the end of the day, we'll pay the money, but again, are we getting value for that money?
Yeah.
Another 2 or 3 year contract, it isn't going to happen. It's best off what we move, but there is going to be huge movements.
Yeah.
9 players.
If I can jump in as well, just to Paul's observation about players wanting to go. Well, Gabriel's potential head turning to Barcelona. This is one of the things that other big clubs abroad tend to do as well. They tend to unsettle or come in with a kind of like word. You know what? Actually, that defender looks quite good. Once that player's head's been slightly turned, it is up to me. It's up to the people around that player to protect him. To say, look, you know what? Barcelona is coming in, but you haven't really set your abilities or your competency in this field to a consistent level. So before you start having the thinking that you're going to hit that kind of height, that dream position, first and foremost, keep your feet on the ground. I think that's the real kind of like challenge that any team tends to have, is to say to a young player, look, it's all good. There are times when the road will get a bit rocky, but you just have to stay consistent. Forget about some of these big teams wanting to come in for you, because the time for you to shine for this team is now. Just be consistent, and then everything else will come in the right time. I feel that that's another conversation that can be really challenging, because that's the responsibility of the club, also the manager, and also those people around those players who have got the capabilities to become a lot better, a lot stronger, the next best thing. But it's about keeping them grounded. You know, we've got a rich history of players, young players, gone off just where they feel that they may have that fantastic Barcelona move, and for some of them it hasn't really worked out.
But I don't think you can actually blame them. I mean, when a club like Barcelona comes calling, you just, I don't think you can turn it down, can you?
You'd be very interested, wouldn't you? As a player, you would, and then it would be, you wouldn't be kidding anybody if you weren't interested, because it's Real Madrid. You know what I mean? A lot of Juventus or a Barcelona. You will, no matter how well a club like Arsenal will be doing or not. There's still going to be that gravitas towards those clubs. But one other player I didn't mention was Reece Nelson. He's had, I'd say, a slow, grounded kind of like start to his career, and when he kind of come in and started playing a couple of games, didn't really show. He's gone on loan to Germany, and it looks like the real pathway for youngsters now for England to go to Bundesliga and get that game time. And he looks like he's done. I think he had the weekend. I think he had a couple of assists and a goal. I think I read. But he's putting in some good performances. So he's another one. So you just think him and Saliba, those two, the rest of them, Bellerin, they're gone. They're as good as gone and sorted. I don't think there's any way through that. And to say that, I'd be struggling if I was to be confident if we still had the players that we had in our squad that we got rid of earlier in the season, as well as then trying to shift those players on loan. The focus. How do we know how many players we can get in with all of that we've still got there? Now we are threadbare. It's not. It's one of those where as much as you probably think, well, all right, we can probably nurse it through and do what we need to, but on those instances where you do come a cropper with the injuries and whatever, suspensions, we haven't had any, but let's hope so. We don't have any more. But, you just look at it and you just think, well, yeah, it was a gamble, but yeah, we just hope that's the big like chink in the road, and it gets better as we go
on. So quickly for you, Paul. Arsenal still in a shout for top 4 for you?
Well, always in a shout, because we know that we are in a race, and we had, including Saturday, probably earmarked those 3 games as maybe 9 points, 7 points, 9 points, and the test would be against the Chelsea, the Man United, and Tottenham. But it's not saying that we can raise our game in those 3 games. There is that potential there, and it makes it more likely that we have to perform in 2 of those games, at least. So, yeah, it is on. And playing Tottenham late on as well, and if it is tight, it's going to be very nervy. It'll be a nervy occasion for them as well. Certainly, if we keep them quiet and when we do actually show up. But yeah, of course we're in a chance, but we've made it really hard. We have made it really hard, and we can't have any more failings like that.
Yeah. Ralph's just slightly not off topic, but remind me your thoughts about the lack of activity in the January transfer window, and I'm directing in this direction because I think that's going to come back and haunt us. The fact that we didn't buy a striker. I know there's talk about Vlahovic. He was our number 1 target, and Arsenal were a little bit coy about spending money on second-rated targets. But what's your thoughts now? Literally, we've seen a Thomas Partey get injured. We're seeing a Kieran Tierney get injured again. We've got Nuno Tavares, but Arteta doesn't want to play Nuno Tavares, who's supposed to be Kieran Tierney's backup if he gets injured. So, yeah.
Well, it's Groundhog Day all over again, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
It's Groundhog Day. I'm getting sick and tired of hearing, well, we learn our lessons, we take the positives, all those kind of cliches, and we don't move any further forward. Now's the time, now's the time for those players to start standing up and, okay, we've got 3 matches to try and get ourselves back in line with top 4. I'm going to go out on the limb. I don't think we're going to get top 4 again. I think we had our chances when we were in the ascendancy. The 16 days that we unfortunately had to take because of the international break had broken our momentum. And if you want me to go down as an ice bucket challenge or whatever, I'll be happy to do that, because we've been here before, guys. You know what I mean? We've been here before. What is the chances of us getting top 4 after 2 successful number 8 finishes? What's gonna change? What's gonna miraculously change after not being that active in the January sale season? It beggars belief. You've got a manager who gets a left back because he knows Tierney is gonna go, and Tavares' confidence now is shot. So you can potentially put him in this match for against Southampton, and what happens if he fails again? Are you going to take him off within like the first 30 minutes of that match? That way, then you're giving more ammunition to Southampton for them to have a go at us. I think, is it Chelsea? Chelsea peppered them 6-0. Mm-hmm. We are the team that love to give freebies. Brighton hadn't won 7 matches, and here they are. They're coming to us at home, and they played at home with more assurance than we did. Now, come on, guys. Tell me, how often have we seen this level of performance? It's too often. It's not a blip. It's not once in a blue moon. It's consistently the same thing. We get to a point where it's great for about 5-10 matches. There may be 1-2 breaks. We lose one match, we bounce back, and we continue our run. This is the time for these players now to stand up and say, okay, you know what? There's no more resources. We have to literally just run until we run empty. And the manager has to stop the micromanaging on the sidelines. Let the guys play sometimes when you're playing in a match, the manager could be shouting as many tactics and who to watch out for as possible, but the players on the pitch have to be that aware. I'm a defender. If I'm telling my defender who to look out for, then I'm in his ear from minute 1 to minute 90 plus. The players there are not kids. I mean, they're young. Most of them are young. There may be a few inexperienced, but we have got a few mature players on the bench. So let's stop with all this kind of BS about, oh, you know what, top four is done. Let's just play to try and get some kind of momentum, and whatever the chips will fall, then we can see what happens at the end of the season.
Paul, let's talk about maybe the players have maybe down tools, because straight after the international break, like my brother says, they had like 2 weeks and a bit just to prepare themselves, and they came out playing at Selhurst Park against Crystal Palace. There was no momentum, there was no intensity, and then a few days later they played against Brighton. No intensity. The players looked lost. Had the players down tools, Paul?
I think it's a bit early to say that. I think what you'll find is that with that young squad and with those young players that we've grown accustomed to rely on, when they aren't performing and when they're not at their peak or at their best, we obviously are found wanting, aren't we? At the end of the day, there's no one else then that's going to go and step up and go and grab it at this minute. And there's no changes on the bench because they're well, you've got Nketiah or you've got Pepe or Holding. It's going to stick Holding up front. There's no way of really changing the system. You know what I mean? We're playing 3 or 4 kind of academy players on the bench. None of them are getting game time because, again, does Arteta just think that they're not ready? But he's got no other choice to actually get the numbers on there and actually get the 7 subs. But yeah, no, I don't think it's down in tools. I look back to the Brighton game and even at Selhurst Park. I don't think we started too badly in that game, and I think the first 10 minutes we started in a similar tempo as to what we normally start and we play. Trouble is, Palace were like an absolute steam train, and they were powerful in the middle areas and central areas, and that's where it come. And then it only took one free kick to come over from another nervy challenge from White, who gave away the free kick, to then concede that goal, and a little bit of naive defending. And then, yeah, within 8 minutes, we're 2-0 down. And then that's basically the end of it. 2-0 down away. Too much to bridge back. And although we come back into it a little bit more, there potentially could have been more goals. But again, first half on both games started very timid. Was it lack of cohesion, lack of attitude, lack of proper like personality? I would say. I think there were a couple of players that just were a little bit in the hiding stage and not wanting to get involved. But yeah, it does give encouragement to the other teams when we don't start well and keep that intensity, because it allows them.
Paul, two points, actually 2 questions. Why didn't Arsenal try and beef up their squad in the January transfer window? And also, when I looked at these players, come Monday night against Crystal Palace and Brighton the weekend, I'm looking at the players. I'm thinking, who is the trigger? Who's going to be a small group of players to, just, I don't know, put a wind up the players and say, look, guys, we need to wake up. There are no players apart from maybe Ramsdale. I can probably say he's the trigger who's going to get these guys going. But there is no trigger amongst these players there. There are no triggers. And everyone's looking at each other and thinking, right, no, after you, no, after you. No one can take the lead. Nobody. So there's 2 questions for you. Why didn't Arsenal beef up the squads in the January transfer window, knowing fully well that there's probably going to be suspensions or injuries? And lo and behold, we've got 2 players, Partial and Tierney, double T. Why? Why, Paul?
I don't know. Let me just get on the phone to Mikel. Yeah, no, but I look at it. Yeah, I can see from both sides, and yeah, we could get players in, but then it's finding the right fit. I don't think we were literally crying for or able to get someone that is going to come in and be a total improvement of what we've got. To bed in, to play the way we're playing, and to come in just like that. Potentially someone from the Premier League, probably more likely, but you think of the values of those players that those clubs are going to be charging. We're already seeing it now with the fees that are being quoted for certain players. You're even looking at even Maddison now, and you're suddenly thinking these clubs are just going to just keep rising and just keep saying it. They don't want to sell their players, but they're going to just keep going up and up. And they know we're desperate, and this is going to be our problem in the summer with the striker. And it would have been the same in January. We'll be overpaying to a level where it's just not. It pretends just probably is not worth doing. In all honesty, it's a risk. It's a risk, but again, you could spend say 50, 60 million on a striker that's overvalued, and we've had to do it because we've forced over a barrel. And then we're in an Nketiah situation where, and everyone's then questioning, we've just spent how much on the striker? He scored 1 goal at the end of the season. You're suddenly thinking, how better off are we? We've lost a good sizable budget, which we can't now use in the summer. But we've then also got an actual striker that we probably didn't really fancy, but we were bent over backwards to try and get someone in because we needed to. There's more time now where we can actually assess what we need and those targets. And yeah, there's huge. Yeah, I talk of left back now. We talk about the priorities and the strikers, the midfielder, and a left back. That's 4 priorities. That's bare minimum. And if we were talking even of just getting into Champions League, that's got to be doubled. If we were actually going to be serious about wanting to compete and actually play in the Champions League and then compete domestically, 8 or 9 players is that level. But that's reality, because we can't go into Champions League and then come back to domestic thing and then just mess that up and then be 7th or out of Europe or whatever because we can't cope. It's part and parcel. With the Europa League, we'll probably be able to play some of the youth players and get away with it and bed them in and give them time. But Champions League, you can't do it. Yeah.
Very quick, Paul. Nuno Tavares, would you play him? Southampton game?
I was I expected him to play at the weekend.
Brighton,
but yeah, it was one of those. Yeah, the more you think about it, the less likely he probably is to play. I don't know. We don't know what potentially was the reason why he chose that path, but I'm hoping it was something like he had a niggle or he weren't feeling right on the day. To then come in and then play it. But it would have been nice to have played a home game to bed in, give him a little game time in front of confidence with the fans. But instead, he's now going to have another potential cauldron away from home in a very high octane. I'm guessing the manager will just literally go in and rip them apart and get them to perform. So they're going to be high intensity, and it's going to be a battle of who's kicked butts like the hardest, isn't it? Really, in debate. Both are going to get a shoe in, and it's who reacts better as a team, as a squad to do it. But it's going to be one hell of a game. I hope he plays because he needs the game time and he needs to come in. But yeah, we need to find solutions.
Ralph, same for you. Before I go into a live chat again, we're quite pushed for time. It's going to be a short show. Nuno Tavares, would you play him? Were you surprised? Did you play him? Yeah.
It would have been a perfect setup for him to play at home against Brighton, because I remember back in the day when you start betting in your young players, you play them at home. The only time when you couldn't play them would have been down to suspensions or injuries. However, now this rather potential fragile player is gonna have to go in with the Southampton fans baying for blood, because they got it's like blood in the water. It's like blood in the water. Everybody, the sharks around can sniff. They want to go in and zoom in, and unfortunately, Arsenal wearing the red, we are a beacon. We draw them in. We draw them in, and the only way, it's a street fight. It's a battle. The only way for Arsenal to prove me wrong is just to start winning, and it's difficult when a team gets their behinds whooped 6-0. The manager will be saying, "Okay, so next match, lads, is Arsenal. They just lost at the weekend. They're short on confidence. Go out there and play, because you can't come back here with another 6-0 loss." So that's what we're up against. And that's what we're going to be up against every match from now until the end of the season. So it's I can't control it. I can only support and do a watch along when I can. But I'm just thinking it's not going to be easy watch.
Yeah. Paul, did you say you've got Arteta's number?
Probably not. No. He didn't. Well, whatever number I had, he didn't answer.
All right. All right, let's go into the live chat and see who's joined us. We've got Ashley D, who's the moderator for the show. The help giving us welcome to Cannonfoy TV. Oh, we've got two moderators. We've got DWTT as well. It says hello, and hello panel. We've got Jared says, hey everyone. Come on, guys. Any questions? My goodness. Gary says, so panel, your son is in Arsenal squad and Barcelona is interested. Are you telling him, nah, Arsenal going places? Stay put. No, well, actually, we did say, innit? I mean, I don't think I would turn down Barcelona. I'll say, son or daughter, go and play for them. I think we've had that question before, haven't we, Ralph? I think we spoke about this.
We've had that question before.
Yeah.
But you see, this is the thing. It may be all well and good to have Barcelona, Real Madrid, Juve knocking on your door and saying, you know what, we're interested in your son, your daughter to play for us. But you also got to have a realism of what the real kind of situation is. Your son, your daughter may have all the talent in the world, but they have to sit on the bench, because we've seen it before. The only time when a player that's left Arsenal has gone over to Barcelona, I think the only successful one I can remember, maybe there may be two, and no one can try and prove me wrong. I'll say three. You've got Cesc Fabregas. You've got Thierry Henry. Alex had his hero, Liam Brady. Okay. I remember that the sad story of Laurie Cunningham. Fantastic player for West Bromwich Albion, played for England, went to Real Madrid, and he was just starting out there, and things took a horrible turn. So I'm trying to be as realistic as possible. If they come in and you know that your son, your daughter may have the potential, but they need to hone their craft. They need to be confident. They need to win something.
Yeah.
Win something. To me, that has got to be the only kind of like get out clause is if you're at the club and you manage to make the club win something or transfer from the championship into the premiership based on your abilities alone, then you can sit at the grand table. All this, Barcelona, you could be in Barcelona for maybe 1 season, 2 seasons, and then they spit you out. Look at Anelka, fantastic player, went to Real Madrid, was there for what, about 2 seasons, 3, ended up coming back to play for Liverpool and Bolton. So these are the cautionary tales. It's all good to see the glimmer because that's look at Robin van Persie. Robin van Persie, we was with him he was with us for years, but he was injury prone. Next thing, because he has a falling out with the manager, he doesn't see the vision of Arsenal. Goes to Man United. What does he do? He wins the Premiership and he goes to the World Cup. So to me, those are the cautionary tales. You can go to another team if you wish to, but you got to hone your craft first. Hone your craft, win something, and then let the big dogs, as it were, come for you.
I've come to the end of the show, unfortunately. Like I said, it has to be a short one because I've got something I need to deal with. I imagine maybe my 2 panelists will not be available tomorrow. Paul, are you available tomorrow to probably carry on the discussion?
No, not tomorrow. No, sorry.
Unfortunately, sorry.
Yeah.
Back to work.
Yeah, it's a shame, but like I said, I've got something else I need to deal with, which is why it's going to be a short show. I do apologize to everyone who came into live chat. I can see there's been so many comments I just could not get to because I said I've got something else I need to deal with. But what I am going to say is thank you to Paul coming in. Actually, I didn't invite Paul. Paul invited himself. He said, "Oi, is there a free slot for me?" Yeah, Paul, there is.
I'll come on as a substitute for.
There you go. And of course, my brother as well, Ralph. Thank you for coming on again. But
shame it's a short one.
Yeah, that's just the way it is. But like my mentor used to say, always leave the audience wanting more. And hopefully that you've got that feeling like, no, give me more, show me more. There is no more. But anyway, make sure you do subscribe to Cannon Fodder. I'll try and remember to leave Paul's link to his channel in the North Bank in the description box below. But until then, you have been listening to Cannon Fodder, the channel for Arsenal fans all over